Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking today at the race meeting from Scottsville in KwaZulu-Natal. Today is the 31st of March, and we have an 8-race program. Now, the program kicks off with a maiden juvenile and a juvenile plate, and as you are aware, unfortunately, I cannot give selections on these juvenile races because the form is scratchy, and these juveniles can improve overnight, being from a dud to a champion within a week or two. Not really a dud, but what I mean is one day it can run nowhere, the next race it wins like a champion. So we're going to kick off with race 3, but let's have a look at the betting for races 1 and 2, just for those people who are interested. In race 1, we've got a visitor from Gauteng, Fani Broncos, coming in hot with his horse 28-10, 53-10 Gaelic Chief, 4-1 Quizmaster, 13-1 Balazicone, Catch the Tune 13-1, Path to Form for 13-1, 15-1 Zuri Star, 28-1, and longer the rest. Then in race number 2, we got a juvenile plate, which is 4-1 Fearless Kitty, 4-1 Tinder Dry, 9-2 Rock and Philly, 5-1 Silver Rights, Ashling 8-1, Opening Shower 8-1, Miss Button 15-1, Perfect Angel 25-1, 28-1, and longer. What you can do is you can probably try a nice all to come with the two Broncos horses, because they ran behind each other in a similar race, whereby Tinder City finished in front of Coming in Hot. So if Coming in Hot wins, then surely that would enhance the chances of Tinder City. So let's have a look at race 3, where the betting is as follows. Number 9, 22-10, Grey Ocean 15-4, 4-1 Camora, Prince Triton 13-2, Trumpet Voluntary 8-1, 16-1 Shamuzi, and 20-1, and longer the rest. Now, guys and girls, I want to warn you today about this card. This card today is extremely difficult. As it is, racing at Scottsville is normally difficult. And today it's just that more difficult. We've got huge fields, and there's not one single banker on the card that you can say, I can bank this horse in my pick 6. Therefore, you will see that I didn't even bother to do double selections today, because of the fact that it was just too difficult finding winners. I'm just hope I could lead you on the right track today. And be cautious, don't lose your money, keep your money maybe for tomorrow's card, or over the weekend we're going to have some nice racing. Save your money for that, because I can tell you that this card, I won't be surprised if the pick 6 and the PA pays quite a lot of money today. So here in race number 3, my first selection is number 5, Grey Ocean. I had a look at the form here, and there's a couple of horses who has got chances, but my horse, number 5, Grey Ocean, what swung my choice in his favor was the fact that this horse did run unlicensed last time out 23.2, and before that ran second to Saipan, also running 23.9, and in his first race, he ran behind Iron Tail 23.6. Now, I just want to point out that the favorite in this race is number 2, Camora. And number 2, Camora also ran behind Iron Tail, and a horse called Candy Manny, which also won a few, and is certainly in with a huge chance, especially of Lyle Hewitson riding and a Riverland stable in form. But what I did was I compared the 400 meters times, and Camora has only ran once under 24 seconds when he ran at Scottsville over the 1200 meters, 23.1. Since then, 24.8, 25, not really finishing off his races. Therefore, my selection was then number 5, Grey Ocean, because Grey Ocean has run under 24 seconds 3 times now already. That shows that he is finishing off his race. Warren Kennedy on board, so it will be a case of Warren Kennedy against Lyle Hewitson. So for outsider selections, I went with numbers 14 and 15. Austin Creed is Alison Wright, Raymond Danielson. And this horse has run not too bad runs in his last 2 runs, but that was on the poly, so he will have to bring that form into this race. But Austin Creek currently at 25-1. Should this horse run in, and I would suggest that you pop us in the back end of your quartets and trifectas. Certainly, I'm not preaching it as a winning selection, but on the other hand, the horse has run on poly, and he might just take to the grass, although he has had 1 run on the grass behind Good Time Guy, and that was a strong field, as Good Time Guy has won again. I see there was 11 runners, 2 winners. So certainly a type of horse that can surprise here in the first leg of the pick 6. Then we have number 15, Trumpet Voluntary, who ran 2 nice seconds and then last time behind Northern Warrior on the Scottsville track. Faded a bit, handy, no finish. But I'm willing to give him that run, and based on his previous 2 runs, where he also ran at Scottsville over 1,200 meters, finishing at 24.5 fastest 400 to finish. And then after that, the 25 second, which wasn't that fast, but he still managed 3rd fastest after, being in the leading vanguard. So certainly I think 15 Trumpet Voluntary, a nice combination, Mark Dixon and Aston Harris, definitely also a horse that you want to pop into your selections currently at 8-1, Trumpet Voluntary. Then also a horse that I would like to talk about is number 9, Casimiro, also one of the favorites. Anton Marcus on board, has also run on the Scottsville track twice for a 3rd and a 2nd, so certainly also not out of it, definitely in with a huge chance, number 9, Casimiro. So let's now move on to the 4th race, which is another open race. It's a merit at 98, 1,400 meters class A, average merit 93. Nicely, a nice bunch of horses, top division horses, and it was extremely difficult trying to find a winner here. So here we have number 4, Socrates, 33-10, Williams Land 9-2, Mr. Fitz 5-1, 11-2, Vision, Native Tongue 11-2, 10-1, Kayla's Champ, Sir Michael 12-1, Sniper Shot 12-1, 15-1, Quick Star Farland 35, and 45-1 Pass of Victory. Now here in this race, you'll see that Williams Land, Socrates, and Sniper Shot has run against each other here on the 13th of January. Now, with weight turnarounds, Sniper Shot has got the beating of both Williams Land and Socrates. So that I'm working on that form. So my first choice here is number 9, Sniper Shot, getting the minus 1.5, has been running well lately. And another factor which was swayed me into selecting number 9, Sniper Shot, as my outright selection. Course and distance, 3 runs, 1 win, 1 second, and 1/3. So never been on this course and distance further than 3rd. And I think Sniper Shot today definitely can definitely run a huge race here. Then for outsider selections, I went for number 2, which is Kayla's Champ. This horse is also a horse that's got a lot of ability. This filly has won 3 races and has also been running against strong opposition. You can see here Mary Gold, definitely a good horse, Vaz Vicky, Mill Queen, CM, and last time out finishing 3 lengths behind Battle Force over a distance that I do think is too short for Kayla's Champ. So certainly Kayla's Champ coming from Gauteng, Calvin Habib on board, definitely in with a chance. Then my other outsider selection here is number 11. And that is Mr. Fritz, carrying 59, but Lyle Hewitson on board. Also has been running in like 8 divisions, 101, 102, 91, 70, here at 1 and 91. But that was on the poly. But if you look at the record here, course and distance, 4 runs, 1 win, 2 seconds. And I'm sure when the photos are taken, Mr. Fritz will be in those photos at the finishing post. Then lastly, another other horse I want to talk about, that's number 1, Williams Lad, that was beaten by Socrates, but with the weight turnaround, Williams Land on paper, and as I always say, the race is not run on paper should have the beating of Socrates, Warren Kennedy on board from draw one. So I do think Williams land a huge runner in this field. I'm just wondering, is Kigo de Malo, oh, he's on the other horse of Dean Cannabayer, and that is significant that he's selecting this number 6, Michael. I haven't put it into my play, but maybe you should now then include it into your play, number 6, Michael, relocating from Cape Town. So I would think that Dean Cannabayer thinks that this horse must have a good chance. Sir Michael currently 12-1 in a betting, so it might, be worth your while to include this number 6, Sir Michael. Unfortunately, in my selections, I couldn't find place for him in my selections, but definitely I would then think this might be consider number 6, Sir Michael. So let's move on to the next race, which is race number 5, which is a merit rated 88, handicap 1600 meters, Class C, average merit rated 81, and the betting as follows. Here again, another open race, betting 4-1 the field, Diamonds and Pearls, Cane, Lime and Soda, 11-2, 11-2, 11-2, Full Blast, Karoo Lark, 8-1, 8-1, All's My Daddy, Dancing Feather, 9-1, 12-1, Fight Song, African Sunshine, 13-1, the Taba, 14-1, and Victorious Man, 14-1, 16-1, and longer the rest. And here in race 5, my selection is number 12, which is sorry, my first selection is number 1, race 5, number 1, Diamonds and Pearls. This horse is very consistent. He has run against some good good opposition, and he's always there and thereabouts, running hard out. This 5-year-old mare has been running again preferential won again on Sunday, and I think preferential must be one of the most improved horses currently running in KwaZulu-Natal, and because of the fact that she was just beaten in 2 runs behind preferential, and preferential beating a strong field over the weekend, that is my outright selection. Then for outsider selections, I'm going for number 2, Dancing Feather. Dancing Feather improved last time out, which I did expect, and I think this horse is also a type of horse that is improving. Warren Kennedy for Gavin van Zyl stable, who is in form, drawn to, and I think this horse in with a decent outsider chance in this race. Then I want to go down to number 12, which is African Sunrise. Now, African Sunrise getting a -1.5, but you'll see that African Sunrise ran close to Trip to Africa, and Trip to Africa has won again on the weekend, and then also Spring Fling has won again as well a week or 2 ago. So certainly that makes that form very strong. So I think 12 African Sunrise as an outsider selection, currently at 13-1, certainly a worthy outsider selection in this race, and can definitely be one of the horses when the focus are taken at the winning post. And then I also just want to quickly touch on number 10, Full Blast. This is a captain of all by Jetmaster me nicely bred. And this horse has surprised me. He won 4 out of 2 races out of 4, also running on last time behind Tread Swiftly, and he had to switch twice and still managed to get up to win. So I think 10 Full Blast, certainly inclusion in all of your bets. Guys, and as I said before, this is huge fields. I cannot touch on all the horses, although I would have loved to, but then the video is going to be too long. So I'm just touching on my selections and mentioning 1 or 2 other horses here and there. Also remember that the whole purpose of Outsider Genie is to take my selection, add them in your selections, and then play accordingly. So the next race is race number 6, which is over 1950, Silver Maria 7-2, Keep on Dancing 9-2, Twice to Sydney 11-2, Burn Jasper 7-1, Mama Pajama 8-1, Conchita 8-1, 12-1, Batsesana 12-1, Rise, Isla Morada 16-1, and 25, 22-1, and longer the rest. So certainly also another open race again, where my first selection in race number 6 is number 4, which is Rise. Now, Rise has by a noble tune out of a dynasty mare, and has had a stable change on the 12th of February, has had one run for a new stable, coming back from a bad start, stumbled at a start, running on to be 6 lengths behind, Keep On Dancing. So I think that race can be best ignored, and I think that Rise today is a huge runner in this field. She ran behind Favor. Favor came over the weekend and won again. Yes, Preferential again has won a few races after this race in January. I think must have won 3 races since then. So I think 4 Rise definitely in with a huge chance here. A noble tune out of a dynasty mare, nicely bred, and my first selection, number 4 Rise. Then my outsider selections is number 5, which is Conchita. It's a Toreador by Silvano Mare, Muzieni on board. This horse has had 5 runs for 1 win. But what caught my eye was in his first 3 races, he was fastest 400 to finish on all of them. And then these last 2 races, surely he wasn't disgraced behind Sea Venture and Free State Star. And it says he has stayed on, made late headway. So I'm thinking that in 1950 will actually shoot this horse. So I'm expecting a nice run from Conchita and Nathan Cotson stable, East in form. Muzi Yeni riding like he always does, giving 110%. So that's my outsider selection, number 5. My other outsider selection is number 7, which is Twice to Sydney. This horse has been close up in his last 2 runs, also has got the form behind Preferential, and definitely also there behind Rise, a half length behind Rise. And you won't believe me, but the difference in ways is exactly the same. So on paper, should also run again against Rise, but I think wherever Rise will be Twice to Sydney. So definitely include in all of your bets Ryan Munger riding for the Nell stable, which he doesn't often do. He's only had 10 runs, 1 win of 10 rides, and 1 win of 3 seconds and 2 fourths. So that's a 50% strike rate to being in the places. So definitely Twice to Sydney in with a huge chance in this race, I would think. Then my other horse that I want to touch on is Burnt Jasper, coming from Gauteng. This horse has won 2 races. The one was maiden handicap, and the one was a classified stakes. But I think he has also run against some decent opposition in Gauteng, notably Panasina's Pride, who came through to win the Derby trial. So certainly that form has been frank. FS Squadron, not a bad horse either, running 4.75 lengths behind. And from draw 2, I think Burnt Jasper also a horse that you need to include in all your play. We move now to race number 7, which is a 1,100 meters with Class A average minute rate at 95. Another open race. Let's have a look at the betting, where they're betting 4-1 the field, Good Rhythm 4-1, Filippo 9-2, Light That Loose 9-2, Captain Opie 5-1, Spider's Corner 13-2, Wayward 7-1. Kaysen 12-1 and 20 and 15-1, and better the rest. So here my first selection is the horse at the bottom, number 10, and that's Lose That Light, Light That Loose, sorry. Raymond Danielson for Grant Cotson. This horse has been running well. He beat Shinnecock by 2 lengths. Shinnecock came out and won again, and I think was placed as well. Ran in some useful races behind Tempting Fate. That was a future, the medallion on Scottsville, 9 lengths behind, then 5 lengths behind Winter Stories, also in the future, then 1 on the Scottsville 1100, beating Father's Frost, good pace kept on, then second 6 lengths, 2.8 behind Tread Swiftly over the distance, which I think might have just been too far for him. He was there, but then over the last bit, he faded out. And last time out, coming from behind, winning. And what caught my eye on this was he ran at 21.6 400 to finish after being bumped at the start, and surely that swayed me into this horse. Raymond Danielson again, the horse, any horse getting bumped at the start and then still winning, and in the time of 56.3, which is quite fast in 21.5. Certainly this must be a horse with ability. So hopefully my assumption is correct. In my outsider selections is number 6, Captain Opie, who won 3 races on the trot last time out behind Traces, but has run on Scottsville 3 times for 2 wins. And I'm thinking today, Captain Opie definitely a horse that needs to be included. So if you have to go for Captain Opie, then you have to go for number 8, which is Kaysen, because they has run against it other year, Captain Opie beating Kaysen, but today Kaysen has got the weight turnaround in his favor. So if you fancy Captain Opie, definitely number 8 Kaysen must be included in all your bets. Jacob's on board, and I think number 8, a nice outsider selection, definitely a horse with some ability. But there's other horses of chances. Here we have number 9, Spider's Corner. If you can afford, include into your play. Duncan Howell's stable is getting to form, but I would have been thinking that I'm not sure if Muzieni can make the weight. Was ridden before by Muzieni, but Muzieni now on another horse, which is Captain Opie, accidentally. Yeah, I see. It looks like he might have had to make a choice, because I know he certainly can do that weight. So that is significant in that Muzieni going for Captain Opie. Also, Nathan Cox stable is informed. But in this race, there are many horses with chances, and definitely include as many as you can. Good rhythm, also a horse who has got some useful form, have been running there and thereabouts, but has been unlucky in getting, always beaten by one or other of the horses, but certainly not without a shout. And yeah, as I can say, there are another horses in this field has got chances. Unfortunately, I cannot cover all of them. So then we move to the 8th race, the last race. It's the maiden plate for Phyllis Amaze over 1,100 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. And here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Guilden Trip, 28 to 10. Diamond Girl, 33 to 10. Dutchess of Success, 4 to 1. Backstop, 7 to 1. 15 to 2. Blanchette, 9 to 1. Capriina, 16 to 1. And better the rest. So here my selection for this race is number 1, Backstop. Again, the Tony Reverend stable in form, Stuart Randall in form, and I think the 1,600 meters, and even the 1,400 meters, I also think might have been too far. I think State of Mind has won since again, and that ran 2.9 behind Vijay's Magic after there was a bit of a betting support. And I think after this short race of 103 days, Backstop might be ready to run a huge race in this lineup. My outsider selections is numbers 12 and 13. So let's have a look at them. Number 12 being Blanchetta. Blanchetta horse, it has won a few places like behind She's a Keeper. She's a Keeper has won since again. And the type of horse that you, with Aston Ayres on board, want to put into your quartet and trifecta selections, as is number 13, Capriana. Not strong form, but has been running well. 1.7 behind Eager Dutchess at Scottsville, then 4.25 behind Flying the Star, where she ran on nicely, second fastest to 400. And then last time out was in the Vanguard, but faded at the end. But has got Calvin Beep on board, and certainly he's one of those jockeys that can win with outsiders. But then there's the favorite. Let's have a look at the favorite, number 3, Guilden Trip. Coming from Kenilworth, first race here in KwaZulu-Natal. Anton Marcus on board. On his first run, he was betting support. Then a second run, he drifted from 7 to 2 to 11 to 1. The horse must have lost a leg or something for him to drift from 7 to 2 to 11 to 1 behind Voice Notes. But as I just want to point out, I keep on harping about the 400 to finish times of the horses in Cape Town, where here in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, I would say a good time, anything under 24 seconds. Here they're battling to run faster than 26 seconds for the last 400 meters. So certainly Guilden Trip, not the type of form that I would rush to put my money on. And then I just want to check here quickly. Number 2, Diamond Girl, obviously a first timer. I'm not, which I can't make an assessment on. I'm not sure about the breeding. And then let me just have a look here. Oh yes, that's the horse I also wanted to discuss. Number 16, Dutchess of Success. The horse also comes from Cape Town for the Dennis Dryer stable. There are talk that this horse is much better than his form is showing. Has run 2 places in the Cape Town. Also, again, might have a chance. Is by the dam is Ray, which was quite a good horse. Lyle Hewitson on board. So certainly Dutchess of Success you need to include in all of your play. And if there's a scratching and this number 17 comes in, also put in the back ends of your quartet straight fire. So that brings us to the end of our preview. I hope I managed to point you in the right directions for a few winners. And as I say, break a leg.